Hey, so Mother Nature is pretty much throwing everything she's got at us. I already have a long day. It's pouring rain. We hear thunder off in the distance. Hopefully that's gone by the time we hit 3 Mile. We have to make some kilometers today for sure. Okay, so this is just a torrential downpour. We stopped for a snack at North Silva, and just came down. It actually filled the boats pretty good, just the 10 minutes we were waiting. So now we can we're gonna head down towards the portage towards 3 Mile, and then paddle 3 Mile all the way down. Then we got a series of portages after that. I don't know what time it is. It's probably no time.
No idea.
I think we're doing pretty good though. So okay, so we're into 3 Mile now. Like I said, we have to paddle the entire length of the lake, and then a couple of series of portages. Check okay, so 3 Mile. Then we have at the bottom we have a 1220, a 320, 1040, and a 520 to get into bigger. So funny thing is every now and then somebody says something, and the next thing you know what happens. We were talking about wind yesterday, and John was saying how it either goes east to west or north to south, and then he's like, but every now and then it goes south to north. Well, we got a south to north going on, so just stopping by this little log here, just a little place out of the wind. Rest my shoulder up, it's pretty jacked. Wait for John and Edgar and Mike to catch up a little bit, and keep going. Okay, so we're starting at 1220 towards Upakawa. We're doing pretty good so far. So we might have time. Hopefully the sun will come out and we can dry up all our crap, as we're all soaking wet. The wind on 3 Mile actually dried out somewhat our pants and whatnot, but they're pretty soaked right through, so we need some sunshine in our lives, dry out some stuff, maybe have somewhat of a camp day today, which would be nice. We've been going hard at it since we started. 2 big chunks of the Nipissing, and then up towards the Lossler, and then past all that with Plan B. So for the best. Okay, so we just finished our 320 into Koa, and now we're going to do a 1020 into Sinclair, making our way down to Bigger. It's just afternoon, it's probably about 12:30. I'm assuming we'll probably, things keep going well. I mean, we had a couple of blowdowns in the portages. Mike hacked through the last one there, just so we can get the boats over with his machete. And yeah, so we're making good time. We'll probably get to camp by around 2, and get a clothesline hung, and get some clothes drying in the wind, because it doesn't look like the sun's gonna come out. Maybe have a hot soup, dry clothes, just chill out a little bit. We got stairs on this portage, and into a boardwalk. Very nice, sun's coming out. Should be able to dry out some gear. Fun. Okay, so we just made it to Bigger. 0 breeze, and the mosquitoes are freaking horrible. There are so many in my boat right now. I think I counted about 50 just on my legs. But hopefully maybe a wind will pick up when we get to camp. For sure, smoky fire. Me and Mike have been trying to get the, as soon as we get to camp, one of us just goes at it, starts burning pine needles. Helps a little bit. So it's a good thing we do have the bug-free zone. So yeah, over here it was hell of a day. It was a great day though. We got really lucky with the portages. They went really well. Edgar and Mike killed them. So now it's the rest of a lazy day. Eat some food, kill some bugs. Well, it looks like John just hooked up on a fish. He was trolling on the way to camp with the good old Len Thompson. Oh, looks like he's got a... Yeah, there's lake trout. Okay, so we're at our campsite now. We're gonna cook up that trout that John caught. We actually filleted at another campsite as we were checking it out, figuring nobody was gonna use that one anyway. So anyway, I took off my shoes and my socks because I was tired of being in wet footwear, and I walked over to get my GoPro and almost stepped in this piece of glass right here. See? So I more than understand why there's a can and glass ban in Algonquin Park. It's just, you know, like, this is a little ridiculous, but anyway, I'll try and throw it in with some of my stuff so I can bring it out. But yeah, I mean, even, you know, it's just, anyway, I'm not gonna start. So yeah, so it's a nice campsite. We got this big rock out front we can fish from, and then back there where most everybody is setting up their hammocks, it's wide open space. So it's gonna work really well. Should be good here for the night, and we're not too far from the portage for tomorrow morning. Alright, so there's this giant rock here. Me and Mike have been trying to climb it for the past 15 minutes. So I made it up. Here's Mike.
I'm not gonna make it up.
There's the rock. It's very slick. There's all moss stuff everywhere. There's nowhere to hold on to. You can make it up, Mike. You can do it.
Yes, I can.
You can do it. We need Rob Schneider cheering you on. You can do it. So we have two guys enjoying the refreshing water. I'm sure they're.
I was just telling Edgar that I was complaining that I wish my flotation, my life jacket floated me just a little bit better. And I'm like, you know, I've been stuck in my house for 2 months, and I'm complaining that I don't quite float enough. While I'm in paradise.
Nice to have a camp day.
Oh, nice to have like it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, like, we paddled through the rain and now it's just gorgeous. Yeah. Mike gave up. He's got to work out the abs a little bit more. Okay, so morning of day 7. We're just packing up stuff. It was a downpour last night. So this morning, things putting on wet clothes that didn't quite dry up yesterday. They're a lot drier than they were when we got here, but still not completely dry. So anyway, we have hopefully a quick day today. We're going to try and go as far as we can, maybe a little bit further than where we're supposed to go, just to try and make the next day a little bit easier. So we'll see how she goes. Okay, so morning of day 7. We're headed down towards our portage, which is not very far. On a side note, attach your canoes at night. We were all sitting in the bug shelter this morning having breakfast, and the wind picked up, and Edgar and Mike hadn't tied down their canoes like me and John, and it just went flipping down the front. I had to run out before it hit the water. So I mean, 48 pounds in a gust of wind will take a canoe real quick. So yeah, we'll see how today goes down the what is it, a creek? Yeah, so we're doing Lauren Creek instead of Birch Cliff, because Birch Cliff is Birch Cliff. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so paddling, I think probably about a third of the way through the Lockwood Creek, Captain Gibson, whatever way you want to say it. Yeah, it's very twisty, very tight turns, and we're going against the current. The wind's died down now, but before it was like he'd come around a corner and it's super tight. And we're battling the wind and the current, but so far it's completely paddleable. I don't know what it's like in low water, but right now it's fine. Maybe it'll get a little bit thicker when we get towards the end of it. So anyway, just chip away at this. We took a little paddling break about maybe a quarter way into it. Yeah, no moose yet, no anything yet, no birds, no nothing. So, weird day. Okay, so we're starting the 6:35 towards Lauren Harris. Wind is blowing the boat back and front, but back and forth as I'm walking down the portage. So we're going to stop and have lunch. We're supposed to stay here, but it's like it's 12 o'clock. So we're going to push on, most likely, to Gibson, just to make our day tomorrow a little bit shorter. And the park is empty right now. And we're not supposed to stay places we don't have permits for, but I think I said a total of 4 people we've seen so far. So, okay, so we're on Lauren Harris right now. We're gonna stop for some lunch. I'm gonna filter some water for everybody. I got the platypus out. I can see the portage to Birch Cliff from here. So we gotta hang a right. There's an island with a campsite, the only campsite on this lake. And like I said, unless it's some kind of spectacular campsite that you can, absolutely have to stay at. I see us moving on to Gibson tonight. The wind is just, sounds like I'm not even paddling, and I'm moving at a decent pace. Yeah, so still be an early day, even if we go to Gibson. And honestly, like, if the sun was shining and we would have had, like, sunny rocks and whatnot, and maybe stop earlier, but there's no point. Just keep traveling. Okay, so this is the campsite we would have stayed at if we would be staying here. Definitely usable. Nice open plateau here. Get in from both sides. There's Mike.
Can't lift my arm further than
Edgar's down there. Now we're just gonna stop and have lunch. The platypus set up here, filtering water. And yep, we're at the end of Lachlan or whatever. Right after Lauren Harris, and battle wind the whole way, all the way up. And now G just told me that the portage is straight uphill. Fun. Okay, so now we're in Nod Lake at 4:50. Straight uphill after paddling in the wind for a good 20-25 minutes solid. It was something else. I was taking baby steps, but once I got to the peak, carried the rest, no problem. So me and John are in the water waiting for Edgar and Mike, and there's a little 10-meter portage over here that me and John are hoping that we could skip. You know, either it'd be a little pullover, or I don't know what the hell's going on, but we'll see what it is, and hopefully we won't have to unpack the canoe just for a 10-meter. Okay, so we have one last portage at 8:35, I believe, into Gibson. If it's really windy like this, we're going to there's a campsite right at the end of the portage. We'll take that if we can. If it sucks, then we'll see if the wind dies down, because we don't want to be paddling a bigger lake in this wind. There's one point on Nod where John turned the corner and the wind kind of took his canoe, and he wasn't expecting it, and he almost flipped it. But yeah, safety first. Like I said, it'd be nice to go down to that camp, that logging camp. But if we can't get there safely, then there's no point in getting there, right? All right, so 8 something to Gibson. Hopefully it's flat, because I'm pretty much out of energy. Coming across, I lined my boat across the last part because it was just too windy. I thought that I'd be struggling because my arms from paddling in the wind all day are pretty much noodles, wet noodles. And so I lined my boat across the side where the trees would be cutting the wind. And when I got back in the boat, boat tipped, and one leg went in the water, and to save tipping the entire boat, put both legs in the water. Anyway, so I'm soaked up to the buttocks. Be nice to put on some dry clothes. So next weekend is Father's Day, and I mentioned to you before that I'm redoing my uncle's 65 Buick Skylark, so I'm going to try my best to get it finished and bring it to him on Father's Day. My dad passed away a while ago, so between my 3 uncles, they kind of keep their eye out for me, so you know, I'd like to give him something special. And I'll probably, seeing as how I'm in the West Island, I'll go see my godfather, and my other uncle is in Toronto, so I won't be able to see him. But anyway, see how it goes. If I do finish it, I'll insert some clips of before and after right now. Okay, so we're at Gibson right now, and as you can hear by the wind noise, it's pretty windy out there. So there's a campsite right here. It's pretty much useless for hammocks. If you absolutely have to, I guess we'll figure something out. But we're not crossing in this wind, so we're just gonna wait it out. And if it dies down, hopefully it does soon, so we're not sitting around for too long doing nothing. Then we'll head out that way towards that point, which there's a campsite that was an old logging camp, I guess. So there's apparently remnants of that still. Alright, so we just finished our supper. Sun came out and the wind died down a little bit. I also checked the map. Instead of trying to go all the way down Gibson to the logging camp, if we go like right there on this point, so we could just even follow this cove if it gets a little bit windy, and right there on that point is another campsite. So as long as the hammocks work for that, hopefully they will, because the next campsite's really far down the lake. But yeah, we don't want to try and cross, because if there's still some chop in the middle, it still is a little bit windy. But as long as we can get to a campsite that we can use, because this one is with 4 hammocks is not great. We'd be hanging on trails in the woods and whatnot. So anyway, we wish us the best. Okay, so we got lucky. The very closest campsite wasn't really crazy to paddle here, because it was actually blocking the wind where we're in a bay. And I wouldn't want to paddle across that, even though it's much calmer. Yeah, we got a little peninsula here with a rock in the front. Maybe throw some lines in the morning. Picnic bench, and back there is just hammock heaven. So yeah, home for the night. Okay, so morning of day 9, I think. 8. It's pretty windy out here. And actually, John was hooked up to a tree last night, and the wind snapped the base of it. It didn't fall over, but he luckily got his hammock and everything down in time. It's still kind of teetering in the wind over there. We're just packing up, and then we're going to make our way down to the portage. It's going to lead us to the Nipissing, and hopefully the wind doesn't give us too hard of a time. Yeah, so I mentioned before that John was hanging between 2 trees. So it was this tree here that was strapped to that one to reinforce it, and then this one here. See the crack all the way at the bottom. So essentially the fact that his ridge line and his hammock were between these 2 trees, his body weight in the hammock was stopping this tree from falling all night. So yeah, a little sketchy. Alright, so this is the portage towards the Nipissing. I think it's 2.8. I don't think we have this one and maybe another small one. Or just this one, I don't know. I have to check the map. But, yeah, it's crazy how windy it is in the middle of the lake, and as soon as you get into a bay, it's super calm. Okay, I'm going to take off my toque because there's no way I'm portaging with a toque. I'll overheat. But let's chip away at this one. I think it's relatively flat too, so that's good. Yeah, so me and John are about 2/3 through the portage. Super flat. It's crazy. It's a nice change from what we've been doing lately. Boardwalks everywhere, flat. It went up what, 6 meters over 2.7, so sorry, 2,700. Yeah, so it's going well. There's a fork up ahead that we're gonna wait for Mike and Edgar at, so to make sure that they take the right portage trail to where we're going, and then it's a small jaunt down to the Nipissing. Okay, so we're just on the Nipissing here. We're fishing these rapids. John hooked up 2 fish that spit. I got 1 hit, but it didn't take it. Now I'm kind of out of commission until I get to my tackle box, because I went to cast and my lure kind of snapped off at the end and just kept going. So anyway, we'll see what happens next falls or whatever. Okay, so we just stopped at the campsite for lunch. A hot lunch, most of us. Spicy kimchi. And now we're back in the Nipissing and towards what's most likely going to be our campsite, unless we decide to push on if it isn't usable. If we do, it'll be at High Falls, or High Dam, High Dam. Like I said, it is Friday, so people coming into the park is a concern. Okay, so we have one little stretch of the Nipissing left before we get to High Dam. Like I said, I know that the second campsite from this side would be usable for the 4 of us on the hammocks. So it just depends if there's somebody there or not. Hopefully there isn't, because I'd like to stop traveling for the day. It just started raining. I think Mike and Edgar too are pretty pooped. I know I am. There's paddling up the Nipissing is one thing. Now it's actually not too bad because it's open. Where it gets really narrow is where it gets really really tricky sometimes. So, but I have to say we've had some long days, but they were good days. Weather-wise, it only started, I think it was on Bigger on the 4th day, where we had rain, and then it was nice, kind of nice. After that, like, wasn't, it was more wind than anything, but no rain really. So we'll just soldier on and get her done. Second campsite, High Dam, nobody here. Perfect. So home for the night. This is actually one of my favorite campsites in all of Algonquin, because it was the first real river campsite that me and John stayed at, and it was just the noise of the water and it's just the opening. It's just a very nice campsite. Okay, so it's Saturday morning here, day 9. We're packing up camp. Just wanted to show you this camp real quick. Portage Trail is up here, so this little path leading off to the side of the campsite, which is nice because you're not directly on the Portage Trail. So here's the Portage Trail. We left the canoes there, and then you walk back into camp here, and John had his hammock here, but he has already taken it down. Mike's got his hammock there. I'm back over there, and then Edgar here, and then we have this little path that leads down to a place where you can fish or just get water or whatnot. So yeah, very gorgeous campsite. It's one of my favorites in Algonquin, actually. Definitely my favorite river camp. So a little trout pool leading down to the falls down there. So we're gonna pack it up and get on the water. Okay, so morning of day 9. The general consensus is that we're just gonna head to the truck today because we're so close to it, which would put us home a day early That way we'd have an entire day to just do what we got to do before getting back to work. We've had a great time out here. We caught fish, a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, a little bit of sun, so it was a great trip. The only thing is for me, I thought getting away would kind of take my mind off of what's happening at home, but you know, when you're laying in the hammock by yourself or you're paddling the boat by yourself, there's nothing but you and your mind. So it'd be nice to get back and just start dealing with everything. So this morning, me and John are going to trade boats. He's only ever paddled my boat in his back creek, so he's going to take it down to the next portage, down the next stretch of the Nipissing. I'm going to take the Canoe, just to give him an idea what the difference between the two boats are, and at the same time for me to remember what the difference of the two boats are, because it's been since last May when I actually paddled Canoe for a distance. So anyway, that's it. So we're gonna get on the water pretty soon. Okay, so I'm paddling John's Canoe 14 right now. After paddling the Cruiser 14.8 for the whole week, my initial thoughts of differences between the two. As I'm paddling, this one rocks a little bit more back and forth, but I think it's because John has the tall and wide seats, so you're actually sitting higher up in the boat. But I mean, there's a little bit more rock in the front, a little sway in the nose a little bit, but not much. Anyway, I mean, they're both great boats. Depends on what you want. Personally, I think I made the right choice with the 14.8. But yeah, definitely a little bit of a different feel, not much though.
Huh? The portage we passed on the side there.
You saw the portage?
Yeah.
Didn't even see it. So yeah, that was the portage. Little hilly. Finishing this little creek here, and this is Latour Creek, and we're at the portage here. It says portage that way. Just to show you how narrow this is, literally pushing off the sides with my paddle. there. Don't know, I can't see. Portage sign anywhere. This way or the other way. Okay, so haven't recorded anything in a while. Just trying to chip away at the portages and the creeks and whatnot. So now we're on Roseberry. Very nice lake. Sandy footing. So we get to rinse off all the muck from our last two portages. So now we have a good jaunt down the Tim and into Tim Lake. Where the truck is. I think we only have 110 portage throughout all that, but yeah, so we should be on the road within a couple hours. And yeah. Okay, so for the past couple of days between Walking Creek, the Nipissing, the Ford Creek, now the Tim, I'm just done with this winding, twisting stuff. It's just exhausting, constantly turning the boat every 8 feet over 130-degree turn. I've spent I don't mind doing stuff like this, but just too many days in a row. You know, here's the last portage of the trip. So it's a 110 from Tim River to Tim River, which is going to lead us to Tim Lake. And then truck and home. Okay, so we just finished up Tim River. We're into Tim Lake. As soon as we cut across this, then we have about a half an hour, 20 minutes to a half an hour to the truck to Tim Footing access point. Right now it's 3:30. And there she is, civilization. Load up the truck, head back to LDP.
It wasn't running at all, actually. Yeah, kind of trickling.
So it's been over a week then. Yeah. We just unplugged it. Yeah.
A long fucking paddle.
That was a long 4 days of fucking fucking twisty rivers. But
If I ever have another child, it's gonna be called Twisty Rivers.
so there will never be anything named Twisty Rivers. Is what you're saying?
Nah, Mike's
Exactly.
totally gonna get fucking caught by some chick.
You think so?
Yeah, you haven't got that vasectomy yet.
That's true.
Prove me wrong, motherfucker.
Use the wallet always in the bag I go into the least. My clothing bag.
I was gonna say clean underwear, but survey says clothing bag. Still on number one
Clean
answer.
underwear is on, man.
That's exactly. I guess I gotta break out the whatchamacallit? Toilet bag.
We got a white.
This side of my
Somebody set my tire. Nice. Nice. Still got juice in the battery, so.
You have juice on battery?
Staying in a few days with on the battery. It's okay.
I know, they're yours.
Oh shit! Yeah! Yeah! But I lost my lighter somewhere. So.
I go?